Hey, welcome back to the channel. This time around, we are going to be talking about this specific style of design, which is located in Houston, Texas, in front of One Allen Center. Now, as I start talking about this, one thing we should think about this is this your style of design? As in, do you like a lot of straight lines? Now, there's people that definitely like this more modern look, but also at the same time, we need to know that if you have the space, then this can work out for you. Now, because this is in front of a big building, then they have enough real estate to put a lot of stuff like this. So if that is the case, then great, then go for it. Now, one of the things that you will see is that there has a lot of cool stuff growing, a lot of lines and mix of materials. So let's start talking about some sizes. Now, there's a good chance that you won't be able to do the very big ones because some of those are around 10 feet by 20, and some of them are maybe a bit smaller, maybe about 10 by 10. So those may work out for you, but then there's also some even smaller ones that are only about 3 by 6, 4 by 4s, 5 by 10s, which there's a chance that you may have some space for this ones. And if it is, then maybe stay on this style and or size, especially if your front yard doesn't have a lot of space. Now, that being said, you are going to be needing concrete because that's, at least here, is one of the materials that's being used. Now, you don't have to use concrete if, say, your budget doesn't allow for it. You can put other materials such as a 3/4 inch or even an 1.5 inch granite style of rock. This one here, they do have some black granite, which allows them to kind of have the very nice difference and contrast between the greens that they have in the area. Keep in mind that I mentioned this is in Houston, so if you're in this area, then it's going to work out for you. But if you're not, you still copy the same principles as far as having a lot of straight lines, and within those, putting a lot of say perennials, ground covers that can potentially take over the area over time. You can have some perennials that will give you some nice flowers, including some lavenders, and as far as having some broad ever leaves, you can have some boxwoods to give you those. In fact, on some of the areas they do have some boxwoods, and they were able to have like a straight rows of those with some ground cover at the bottom, and in between those would be the 3/4 inch black granite, which you can do that. At the same time, depending on the space in the area that you live, you may consider having some nice trees, kind of like what they have here. Maybe you could have some crab apples, maybe some hawthorns, maybe even some maples, some smaller ones, some Japanese tree lilacs that could potentially give you guys some flowers in the springtime. Again, this will depend where you are in the country, but if you like the style, then this would be one way to do it. I definitely like it just because it has a lot of straight lines that gives us that super nice modern look, especially if your house kind of has that look as well. Keep in mind that I'm just saying this because of the different designs around the country of the different kinds of houses. Not only that, but also the exterior textures of the house that you could potentially match it to this. Now, I'm not saying that you should only do this specific things, but if you were to want to copy it, then this is one way to do it. Now, one thing that you should notice, or one thing that you should know about this one, is because this is a commercial design, the irrigation they did use over here was the net FM, and that one is a line, a drip line that has a specific amounts of holes every so many inches, which is more for consistency. So if you want to do this, then think about that, having a lot of those, either say perennials or also shrubs every so often, so it can grow and take over. Otherwise, you may just want to stay with, say, the regular drip system that it's mostly common. And I'm not saying that you should, but maybe think about that. At the same time, if you're doing this with concrete, then don't forget your sleeves so you can actually water it, because a lot of this is not everything, but the small squares, or just I guess the squares, would stay within just that drip irrigation, especially if you just want to do this. And maybe if you want to do some grass similar to this, then you can always do that. Maybe have a nice long strip of grass sod, and then on the sides you can do some of this squares, rectangles, maybe some 4x4s, maybe some 4x8s, and have say trees and other cool shrubbery, maybe some roses, knockout roses, and it's gonna depend on what you want to do as far as your shrubbery, maybe some lavenders that will attract a lot of bees. But those are some of those ideas I just want to bring to your attention this time around. Didn't want to make this super lengthy, but I like to hear your thoughts on what is going on here. And if you live in the area of Houston, maybe there's some stuff that you recommend above some other stuff. I like to hear your comments, put them down so I can read them, and also others can find this information and then can use it for themselves. At the same time, if you have say your project that's going on, you can put some pictures, maybe tag us over on Instagram. That way we can share them, share the magic. But anyways, that's gonna be the end of this video. Again, I don't want to make it too long and too wordy, but just kind of bring you guys some ideas if you are into the modern, a lot of straight lines. But that being said, remember the model that we have here, which is dream, design, create. Thumbs if you loved it, subs if you loved it, and we will see you guys on the next video. Take care. Bye bye.